Are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, he's ready. John Peckman Podcast, Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance, beautiful downtown Portland, Connecticut. Come over the bridge, go through one set of lights, start looking left. You want to have your own podcast here, listen, Dave will tell you how. You're a friend of mine, you want to be on, you may. Just ask me. We are here today, special guest, Mr. Matt Chirsky from the famous Derrick and the Funbags, and I talked to him, and he said, well, what do we do? I said, well, you tell your life story. And he brought his entire life story. And here he comes. Matt Chirsky, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this.
I think
It's his life story on a hand truck.
Oh, those stairs, obnoxious.
Oh, God, tell me about it. We're on the 5th floor. For those of you who are not seeing this and only hearing it, Matt Chirsky has entered the room, our studio, with a hand truck stacked 4 feet, 3 feet. How many books you got there?
7 and number 8 at home.
7 gigantic scrapbooks bigger than you've ever seen, containing his entire life story. And he's going to sit down here in the hot seat and tell us his entire, we're going to go through every single page starting now. Right? Here he is, Matt Chirsky,
All right.
the one and only. Look at this. Look at all that.
All right.
We're going to go through some of those at least.
John, how you doing?
We're going to pick a random year. We're going to just pick I'm going to go 1987, where were you? And you're going to find the right thing, and okay, here it is.
I think it actually starts at 87.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right.
It might actually be 89.
Ooh. All right, we're going to get into that. All right, we're setting up the camera. We're
Sure.
making-
I hope
we
you
went
don't
off the-
mind. Oh, go ahead.
We went off the grid today visually, which is good. See, Matt's got ideas. This is why he's...
And I'm glad that you invited me on Flag Day as well.
Oh, that's
got the
right. Happy Flag
hat.
Day. It's Flag
Yeah.
Day.
Excellent.
Flag Day today. All right. So one thing we know so far, Matt Chirsky is a scrapbooker. Is that what you call it?
That'd be a fair statement, sure.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I got scrapbooks chronicling his whole life. Oh, what are you doing now? You're making me nervous.
See, this is the reason I can't remember a lot of things. So either I got to write it down or I got to increase my dose
You
of
don't remember
Prevagen or
your
something.
life? It's in there. Look it up. There's your
there
life.
you go.
Look that up. Ooh. Yeah.
What floor are we on? This is the third floor?
Yeah.
It just shook the entire third floor when you dropped that one book.
Exactly. There was some heavy years right there.
It is.
Some heavy years. Matt Chirsky, great drummer.
Thank you.
Been Darik and the Funbags as long as I can remember. How long you been in that band?
It's officially our 25th year, and I've been in for the 24 of the 25.
Wow.
Came in
That's
98.
wild. That's wild.
Yes.
There was who was the first drummer?
John Gilbert. Yeah,
He's still around?
I believe so. He's kind of like down like Ansonia, Derby Valley.
Yeah.
You know, the band kind of originated out of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the valley there. So.
Do you want to talk about yourself, life story wise, and then we'll get into the whole Funbags thing, and then whatever.
Whew. That must be hard for anybody just to
It is.
start just picking up. Hey,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
I was born, and then where do you go from there, right? I mean,
I don't know.
I guess we can jump to age 9, maybe.
Sure.
Save 9 years.
Yeah.
Trim
You
off.
grew up where? In Meriden-ish.
Actually, I was born in Bridgeport.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and parents divorced young and moved about 37 times. My mom and I kind of figured it out.
Whoa.
With my sister.
Wow.
Yep, and always was the new kid at school.
Sure.
You know.
Sure.
But it was like Bridgeport, Fairfield for the longest time, and then skedaddled out of there in the middle of 6th grade, and came up to Meriden.
Okay.
And kind of planted foot there.
Sure,
you know,
sure.
grammar school, high school, middle school.
Wow.
Yeah. But I have to say, though, in those early years when you're in like 4th grade, you can just start to play in the band. They give you a pair of drumsticks and whatever, and they say, okay, well, you got to get the drum pad.
Sure.
You know, and actually, it happened to
There it
have
is.
the very first drum pad I ever, where am I looking? Right there?
Hey,
Is it-
sure. Yep, we
This is
got it.
the actual very first drum pad I ever
Whoa.
played on from 1978, maybe?
Yep.
Yep. And,
Right there with you.
Yeah, and I'm going to be buried with this.
Where'd you
as
get
well.
that from?
Well, I almost want to say professional music.
So your mom walked in somewhere and said, "My son needs a
Yep.
pad." Wow.
And some sticks.
Yeah.
Hook them up.
Yeah.
So that's
it.
here.
That's it.
But I have to say, and it's interesting the timing of this because there's a buddy of mine who actually got me started in drums in 5th grade.
Sure.
And I was kind of like going to like a daycare or something.
Yeah.
Mom was working or whatever. And somebody brought in the Kiss Alive 2 album. You're 8 years old, 9 years old. You're like, what is this? So you're looking at it. I immediately zoned in on Ace Frehley, actually.
Sure.
Okay, smoking Les Paul, like I want to do that. That looks cool.
Sure.
And then kind of was looking at Paul Stanley, Ace
Sure.
to Ace Heather. So I was kind of going to be a guitar player. And then my buddy Albert Rich, who gets the credit for kind of starting me in this crazy drum journey.
Gotcha.
He was taking private lessons. His family could afford it. You know, he had this drum set set up in his bedroom with the blue hydraulic head on the tom.
Yeah.
And he sits down and he busts out this bossa nova beat. And I'm like, that sounds cool as hell. I want to do that.
Yeah, that's not on a Kiss record. What's that? Yeah.
Don't know.
Cool.
Yep. So
that's great.
And we're just hooked ever since then. But, you know, couldn't really afford private lessons myself and didn't have a drum set. So it was banging on this thing like for the longest time.
I know.
Yep. And then I always ask my mom every time we move, you know, Mom, can I get a drum set? You know, and she eventually, we used to have this frozen foods guy come to the house, you know, and you buy frozen steaks and stuff like that. And my mom was doing that. And the guy who delivered the steaks actually was a drummer. He was selling a drum set.
Perfect.
$100.
Hey.
And I remember that kit being like, it was like a white pearl looking, probably a Ludwig pearl looking. It was all yellow. You know, it smelled like mildew. And it came with the cases. They had holes in them, but it didn't matter. And it literally was like a full drum set, a couple cymbals. It had a ripped bass drum head, but I don't know. I still played it anyway, you know.
Off you go.
And that sat in the basement, and that became like the drum set for the longest time. And I also have one remaining piece of that drum set with me from 1979. This is the top hi-hat. Now, this doesn't mean I was a basher by any means. This just stayed with me like all my life. I bought it to high school. We used to throw it around the band room, throw it into the wall, smash it out on the concrete.
Seen it all.
Yeah, run it over with your car a couple times. And so between this and this, like, you're going to be buried with me for sure.
Wow.
So
that's cool.
Yes.
You've seen it here. The origin story.
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah.
So, God, where are we now? We're only at age 10. I mean, I mean, we only have an hour, right? So it's gonna be, let me check the scrapbook and see where I'm at. I'm trying. You jump ahead, like in school.
So, what did you first start playing on drums? Were you like, okay, Kiss Alive 2, let me figure that out, or?
And it was funny. My mom, she bought me the Love Gun album. Which was pretty cool. Came with the paper gun, you know. Pretty badass. Played that until Did
your gun work? I can't remember.
No,
like once or twice. I couldn't figure it out.
I had it in good condition, but it didn't work. We had that, and then I remember when they did the solo albums, 78, I believe. My mom bought me the Paul Stanley one. Good one. Which is interesting, and I'm going to ask her now that she's like 76 why she bought me the Paul Stanley album. But I mean, he was the prettiest, I think, of the bunch. Maybe that's why she was into it. I have to ask.
And he's
her.
like the front dude. So
and I don't know, like. She must have heard I just like Kiss, and maybe she asked a friend. I don't know. I'm going to find out for sure.
I know.
Yeah, and then and I remember like checking out Peter Criss, and I used to have like this. Oh, I wish I had the bike chain. That would have been cool. From my Huffy Barnstormer, I had a bike chain. Remember Peter Criss? He kind of had that crisscross thing going on, and I remember having like a bike chain with a green plastic around it, thick links, and I remember it never quite fit, but my sister helped me with it, and we got it to lock. And I had a crisscross.
You had to wear it for 3 years because you couldn't unlock it.
Pretty much,
Can you imagine?
I had the crisscross bike chain. I was trying to be like Peter Criss, and then I just completely fell off the Kiss bandwagon.
Just like that.
Like completely.
It was the solo albums. You were like, nope.
Yeah, and I just recently started to listen to all of them because I was supposed to see Ace last week. Toads and
me too.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
I was going to see you there.
Too.
Yep, and of course canceled, and I was like, I never really listened to any of the solo albums except for Paul Stanley. So I checked out Ace's, Peter's, Gene's, interesting, and now I'm going to be on Paul's. So,
cool. So dig this. I don't know if I ever told this story yet on the show, but I had an uncle who was in the record business, and he would send us promos, and I didn't know that you worked for a company. And I asked him one time, you just get boxes of these promos. And I said, do you work for Casablanca? And he's like, why? What do you want, Kiss records? And I was like, well, yeah. And every once in a while, boxes would come with promos with all stuff I didn't like. And next time Uncle Jay sent a box, I opened it up, and it was all 4 Kiss solo. He must have hooked up with somebody that he knew. I got all 4 of them in one shot. I was like, whoa.
Now, do you still have them?
No.
Okay.
I wish I did.
Okay, right on.
Yeah, but and it had posters. You had to have all 4 of the albums. Each one came with a quarter of the poster, like a puzzle.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
But I went from 0 to all of them in one shot. I was like,
impressive.
Oh, yes.
That's impressive. Yes.
Yeah. Too bad they suck, but whatever. No,
nostalgia.
I enjoyed
you know?
them at the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And here they are still playing today.
Sure.
40 years later. So it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So fell off the kids bandwagon. And then when you get into school, you get into the marching band. And, I was always like the snare drummer guy.
Sure. That's
and
cool.
I remember, I don't know if you did that in school, but just ergonomically marching with those things, they would bang off your other knee when you marched, and your knees would be just like bloody beyond belief. Yeah, there was just no relief. The strap, it just. But did that whole thing with the marching bands, and then you get into like the jazz band eventually. When you get into high school and stuff like that. Been in band. All the whole time, citywide orchestra, playing the timpani, and that way you know what you're doing. It just sounds cool. And
you know what's funny? We're almost the same person, because everything that you, yes to all of that. I did all of that stuff.
There we go.
Wow. So funny.
Yeah. So and up to this point, I did not have a drum set because I was living in an apartment. So I remember living in an apartment. I remember bringing that snare drum home and just wailing on that thing on the stand. I didn't care. I didn't even care. But it was the middle of the afternoon,
Sure.
And then speaking of wailing in the middle of the afternoon, finally moved into a house.
Yep.
Got my first CB 700 drum set from the Paper Route money.
I had a Paper Route.
We're talking parallel lives here now. This is getting crazy. Yeah. And I bought it off this kid at school, Craig Agro. I remember his name still. I don't know why. But CB 700. And had it down in my bedroom.
Did you put the old kit together and make the double bass kit?
I had the 5-piece kit, and I remember getting like random drums and just because I started getting into the Rush and Zeppelin and all that. So it was like, okay, now I got to start building the drum set, But it was a 5-piece, and I remember my friends across the street moved out, and their young family moved in with babies, and I'd be at 3:30 in the afternoon practicing for school.
Sure.
And there's cop cars out in front of my house. And I'm like, here we go. Okay, what are you doing in there? Yeah, I'm just playing drums, whatever, blah, blah. Okay, I need you to keep it down. Okay, I'll turn it down. I'll turn it from 10 to 8 or something, or 8 to 4. I'll get the volume knob right here, Yeah. And that was an issue for months.
Oh, wow.
That lady would just call the cops on me in the middle of the afternoon at 3:30. I come home from school. I was a good student, did my homework, practiced my drums.
You're just trying to do one thing with your life.
Yep, and cop cars. And one time I even put a mattress on my window, like I duct taped it to the wall.
See, this is why we got to defund the police. This is what I've been telling you. No,
I know. But and I invited the cop in, and I'm like, this is what's going on. So I don't know why that lady.
Right, I'm not partying I'm trying to stay in trouble.
And, my mom's just like 4'10", 100% Brooklyn Italian, and she wasn't having it.
Yeah, right.
So we wrote a nice letter to the property management. I have, that might even be in this scrapbook, actually. The copy of the letter is actually in here.
The letter that was sent.
Yes, and there's a response on the letterhead from the property management.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. He was a German guy, like Horst Ratzenträger.
Wow.
Or again, I can reference
Achtung.
Yes.
Mr.
Yeah, and just wrote letters to say, hey, my son is just practicing at 3 in the afternoon. He's a good student. He's in the pet band, the jazz band, the orchestra, So my mom would always be like, okay, when your kids come home from school, don't even look across the street. Don't make eye contact. Don't even look over there. Don't give the lady any reason to. Man. So I had to deal with that for a while.
Did she ever give it up?
We moved.
Yeah, so eventually.
Again.
Yeah, that's funny. I was thinking about that too. I did the same thing. This is where our stories differ. My neighbors were cool. And that's all it takes is cool neighbors.
There's
I think about it and I go, yeah, right.
Oh, you didn't have that one? You had.
I didn't know I was cool, but I'm just saying, like, all my neighbors were cool, so I was able to develop, and then bands would practice at my house. Nobody cared, thank God. You know what I mean? Like you say, it only takes one.
It does.
Yeah.
So that was a little rough for a while. It was just a pain because, and I would still play. I just had to tap lightly. I don't know. You tell a drummer to tap lightly. I don't know.
Pianissimo.
Triple P.
Triple P. Yeah.
Yep, for sure. So that's like 15, 16, and then you're thinking about college, right? So thinking Berkeley.
Sure, why not?
Oh, everybody they all apply to Berkeley. So I'm like, okay. But I remember I was on my own with that, like filling out the application and paying the $50.
Oh wow!
Which I have a copy of that in here as well. Can you believe it?
I bet you do.
I have a copy of the application. And you fill it all out, and I'm like, I listen to Yes, and
when did you start doing this then? Did you save stuff and then scrapbooking became a thing?
Yes, it's exactly at 89 because that's when.
And then you said, I got all this stuff. I could tell my story. I'm going to put it in order.
Yes, and it was 89 because that's when I started like playing professionally, making $50 a gig, whatever.
Right.
And I have it in here,
Yeah,
log,
sure,
play
sure,
the
sure.
VFW $10.
Yeah,
Just starts from there,
I
right?
should've
Yeah,
done
it's
that.
on like that ripped notebook paper all shredded
Yep.
up. Yeah, so
So Berkeley.
yeah, so I'm like, okay, I think I got this, and they ask you about music theory, so that's why I took music theory in senior year in high school. I did okay, you
Sure.
know. So I'm filling it out. Yeah, man, I'm Yes Rush. I practice all this stuff, and then of course you're waiting for it to all come back, and it comes back, and then I'm denied.
Why?
And I'm like, oh my God.
Why?
I'm like, F the world now.
Yeah.
I'm 18. I hate everybody.
Yeah.
All my other friends.
I would open the window. Screw that lady now with her baby. I would have been like, nothing matters now.
It's all her fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was kind of a big blow. But at the same time, I actually applied to ASU, Arizona.
Okay.
And I was going, I don't know why anybody didn't. I mean, I love jazz, but
Sure,
I was going to
sure.
go for jazz composition.
Sure. Oh.
I mean, a
Yeah.
big jazz fan, actually, secretly.
Yeah.
And okay, jazz composition. Yeah, I can make a career out of that, I think. And so I got accepted to ASU, but not Berkeley, but I really wanted Berkeley.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
my dad lives out in Arizona. He's been there since '78. So
cool.
it made sense. And there was always like some money for my sister and I to go to college and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. So,
Yeah.
and that never happened. So I took the other path. I took the working out of high school, not going to college, and
Yeah.
all my friends actually
So you ended up not going.
not
out
going.
there to
Stayed home
Arizona.
and worked at the American Steakhouse in Meriden.
Gotcha. Yeah, I
So-
remember that place.
I was there for 2.5 years. Yeah, and then and I worked with guys like Matt Beal,
Oh yeah.
Matt
sure.
Rohde, who went off to do fantabulous things.
Yeah.
Yep. And we were all dishwashers at one point there, and
All the mats.
Yeah, we actually had a band called Mind Over Matter
See what I'm saying?
with no singer.
Wow.
Man,
Instrumental.
we had to find a guy named Matt who sang.
YYZ you played.
I think that's all we played. Yeah.
Instrumental.
Yeah, I
That's
actually kind of remember me and Matt Rohde jamming a lot. We would race through eating our lunches and go into the
Yeah.
band room, and we would jam like Bruce Hornsby.
funny. Sure.
That was the famous song he's got there.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
Yeah, and
Yep.
Matt was just nailing it.
Oh, cool.
Prodigy, of course.
That's cool.
And then we'd write originals.
Sure.
It was always a fun thing just to hurry up and eat your lunch and get into the
Yeah.
band room and just start. And there was a Fender Rhodes in there, which sounded awesome. And of course, he was
Perfect.
already miles ahead. He was in the jazz band. They went off and did fantastic things. But so that was pretty much high school. And I remember.
Why do you think you didn't get into? Did they tell you why? I'm just curious. Like, why would they deny?
I think it was because I didn't have enough music theory. But then I'm thinking, don't they teach you that though?
I don't. I have no
I mean,
idea.
I thought,
I'm just
hey, I took a
curious.
year of it, and as a senior, and okay, I got it, I guess.
One would think that, like, if you could pay, who cares?
Mm.
Like, why would they deny?
Yeah,
Let's get to the bottom of it.
it's
One of
interesting.
these days, we'll have to come back.
Yeah, we'll have to really dig deep.
Yeah.
So now it's high school.
You don't
right?
need
So-
that. You don't need Berkeley.
Nah, those guys. No.
Turns out. No, I don't know.
Even though I play with a Berkeley guy in my band, but
Sure.
So yeah, so we're at high school, right? So working and just drumming all the time, practicing,
yeah.
and I'm trying to think. Getting into the first official band was probably I wasn't even 21 yet. That I remember because I remember. Got driven out of the house that the lady used to call on all
Yeah.
the time. One of the cops who came to the house actually said, "Hey, there's some space downtown Meriden. There's this guy, Dave Legier, who has this brick building,
Yeah.
and there's space down there. Why don't you give him a call?"
Yeah.
So
Hey, that's cool.
that's exactly what I did.
Cop was at least he was hooking you
Yeah,
up.
and I can see his face. I can't remember. His name might actually come to me. That'd be crazy.
Did he tase you first and then tell you about the rehearsal?
No, he used that PR-24 thing, and he whacked me like behind the knees with it a couple times. So call this guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here's the number.
Yeah. And there's
Free.
and that was interesting because so I did that, and again it was like this one room, smelly brick building, but it had 3 windows, a door, a lock.
Behind the train station?
Yeah.
What used to be Johnny Skaggs' place after that.
No, I think Skaggs was always there.
But that general.
Yeah, we were on the other side of the tracks,
Yeah,
I guess
yeah,
we could
yeah,
say.
yeah. Okay.
Yep, and I
So
remember
funny.
having that room, and drums are in there, whatever. And then I remember high school doing the talent show,
Sure.
and 10th grade was The Ocean by Led Zeppelin.
Oh, yeah.
How to do that. John Carr was the singer and guitar player, and my buddy Tom Saksensky was the bass player.
Okay.
Actually, that's how. And then 11th grade, talent show again,
Yep.
and we do Foreplay by Boston.
Sure.
And it's with Matt Rohde
Yeah, right.
Matt Beal.
Tearing it up. Oh, wow.
and Tom Saksensky.
Yeah, well, I
And
don't
we
know.
do Foreplay. We don't have a singer. We don't have a singer,
Sure.
of course. So we bust out of foreplay, we're done, and then I kind of slow it down when it's getting a little crazy, and we go into Rock My Nights Away by Michael Schenker.
I don't know that one.
With no singer. It's like and we did that for like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of ended it. And I actually don't have that in my scrapbook, but I have that converted from VHS to DVD.
Oh yeah.
And it's a mess, but it's all there.
Amen.
Yes. So what I'm getting at is, I think it was the 11th grade talent show where I guess at least one kid from the school had to be in the band.
Yeah.
And there's this kid who I can't remember. I think Matt Rohde was the only one who was in the Maloney band, and there was guys like the band was called, I think it was called Keystone. Dave Zajac on drums. It was Matt Rohde, John David on guitar. I want to say Mike Mangelo on bass and Doug Caligari on guitar also. Yeah, so I remember this guy Dave, the drummer. I'm like, no, I'm the hot shit at school, whatever. And this dude comes in with this like Zimgar, black Zimgar kit, black with the black dot heads, double bass, set up like perfectly symmetrical, kind of Neil Peart setup. And he's kind of warming up, and I'm like, dude, this dude's pretty good. I'm like, double bass, everything's doing is clean.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, like, hey, what's going on? So long story short, he's still my best friend to this day, 37 years later.
Hey, that's cool.
But I'm tying it into the band rooms in Meriden because at the time he was playing drums in his parents' basement.
Oh, yeah.
Though he had cool neighbors, though.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I got some space downtown Meriden. So that was the thing. He brought his drums down. We were down there for a while, and there was a band called, I think, Defiance, who set up across the way, death metal.
Yeah.
And
I hope so.
The long hair, everything. And they used to bring like chicks down there all the time.
My band was called Compliance. Different thing.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Can you imagine?
Okay.
We got a band called Defiance. My band's called Compliance. How about that?
I like it. Yeah. Compliance open up for Defiance or vice versa? Yeah. It totally works. Yeah. So the band room became a thing, and we were down there for the longest time. It was a thing, like just in high school and out of high school, like that's where we hung out.
Yeah.
No phones, no computers. You come down, you watch your friends jam.
Yeah.
And it became a thing where, and I have this on VHS as well, or DVD now. All the guys from that time, big jam sessions on like a Friday night, Saturday night.
Yeah, open the doors, everybody.
Yeah, and it was guys like Todd Cook from Meriden and Scott Armstrong and Matt Rohde, of course, and me and Dave and probably a couple guys I'm forgetting if I go to the video. I mean, Rob Kaczynski, a couple my guys from high school, my buddy Dan Mancano, Rob Pillar, all those guys. Just a thing to do, like you know. So it was like a little mini scene down there, you know. And then things kind of broke off, and I held that room for as long as I can. It was like $150 a month or $100 a month I was paying.
Wow.
And then I remember my buddy Dave moved out because he was getting into bands. He ended up over on Pratt Street, kind of across the way.
Yeah.
And it was like an office building, clean, whatever. And then we had to get out of Legier space and then went to the nice, clean office space over on Pratt Street. And then we started rehearsing and playing drums there. And then I met more people there. Yep. It is kind of snowballs.
Dave's looking through your life, part of it.
Oh.
Yeah, he's just going.
Tidy whities.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there's a story there. There's a lot in there. So again, I guess I'm just saying that, we needed a place to play, and it became like a little communal thing for drummers and just bands to jam and whatnot. And that was like in our early 20s. And then got into a band called, I think at the time it was called Tommy O and the Hornnappers.
Okay.
And Tommy O used to do, remember when WHCN was around?
Sure.
And it was Pecosi and the Horn.
Yep.
And they had an actual horn. On the radio. So Tommy went there one time and he like kidnapped the horn.
Oh, wow.
He was holding it for ransom.
Oh, that's funny.
And then his shtick was that he would write parody songs that were kind of out at the time.
Oh.
And kind of like a Weird Al thing.
Sure.
Sure. And then so he was always in with the HCN guys, and that was kind of cool. And he was looking for a drummer, and I remember him kind of finding me actually at the Legier building.
Okay.
And then I joined up with him, and he was really my first mentor as far as like professional live music playing in the bars. And I wasn't of age, but I looked older because I had a cheesy mustache, and so I got away with it for the longest time. And then I remember one gig, it was Pagano's in Wallingford on the corner there. It's so many different things now, but and the guy like freaked out when he found out like that I wasn't 21.
Oh,
yeah, that dude literally like blew his lid.
Yeah, that's so.
So then I had to have my mom write a note, which guess we're at nowadays.
I had one of those.
Did you really? Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I did the same thing.
And never had to use it though.
We actually had my band leader. So I was in a band like 17, 18 playing bars with older dudes, and they actually got something notarized. That they
I think mine was notarized.
Right?
Yeah. See, here we go.
Just in case. You just go, he's my guardian, my legal guardian. That's
exactly.
allowed to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was the thing for a little while. So that was early 20s. And then I tried, so we were like a bar band. Yeah. You know, just playing. And, and I got those performances on tape too. I'm kind of a pack rat that way. Just stuff's memorialized. Go back, look at it someday. It's kind of cool.
Why not?
Yeah. And that was the thing for a while. And I really kind of got my pro chops a little bit in place, you know, learning. I was green as hell.
What works, what
green
doesn't.
As hell. I was even copying how Tommy looked, you know, tube socks and suspenders and wife beater and a headband. I don't know. It's horrible looking, actually. But
we all had to do something.
Yeah.
Had to figure it out.
Yep. And then I remember breaking away from that and then trying metal.
Sure. Why not?
Now, remember, I'm a traditional player.
Oh, that's right.
Well, was for years.
Yeah.
And I remember the guys in the band were kind of down from the Norwalk area. I kind of knew the guys from Steelheart.
Okay.
You know, they were in with like, that crowd. And I remember they were trying to help me. I remember the bass player gave me a cassette tape of all these metal songs.
Right.
Maiden, Priest, Metal Church. And he's like, dude, listen to these.
Defiance.
Yeah. Compliance.
Compliance.
Yeah. I mean, they were all on there. And, you know, he's trying to get me to do the metal chops, you know, but I was kind of a jazzy guy. So
every little bit helps.
I tried it.
Right.
Yeah, I tried it, and then more original bands. You know, actually, I was in a band with Matt Beal and Jose. We were called Three Blind Mice for a while. Okay. And then doing open mic nights. A lot of open mic nights. I remember. Doing that, and I think that is maybe why I don't have a very. I don't know. I'll say I'm a hack with my setup, but I mean, because the open mic nights, you're playing so many different drum sets that they're set up all different. I never had like a setup. However, it was there. That's the way I played.
Right.
And so, so I don't have
still.
Well, I mean, it's all basically in the right place, but
but you're not like crazy picky about where things go.
Yeah, like the angles. Like I look back at some photos, and I'm like, sometimes the drum's angled like this, and it's like this, and it's like this. It's up here, it's over here. Like, I'll figure out how to hit it.
Figure out how to hit it.
Yeah, so I don't know if that was never had any coaching there. So you know.
Hey man.
You know.
Cool.
So that's all the open mic nights that we did with those guys, and then we started becoming like a band, and then we became a band called Nocturnally Yours, probably in '93. Glenn Romeo, Matt Beal, Jose Lopez.
Wow.
And it was pretty badass. It was some pretty cool music and whatnot. Matt had like quite an attitude, so it was hard to kind of deal with. So bailed out of that, and then got into like New Haven area bands like Trial Mile, if you remember those guys.
Oh yeah.
From the mid '90s.
Yeah.
And that was an interesting time because '96 especially was when. At least when we first heard about it, they were sending bands overseas to play for the military.
That's right.
Those DOD USO tours.
I almost did one of those in the '80s. Couldn't quite get it.
Oh, right on. Right. So that happened with us. We actually we auditioned down down at the Chowder Pot in Brantford.
Nice. Yeah.
And I think Mark Gravino was actually kind of staging it for the local bands. He was kind of in connection with the military.
Yeah.
And we auditioned. You know, we played Doors covers and John Cafferty and just basic rock and roll. And we got it. And then later that year, November of '96, we did the first Mediterranean. It was an 8-week tour. It was over the holidays, November to January. Wow. And that first tour was Italy, Greece, Spain, Turkey.
Wow.
And we got a chance to go to Morocco on a day off.
Wow.
But it was playing all the four branches of the military bases. Yeah. And the idea was to boost the morale of U.S. troops.
Sure.
You know, they're over there and whatnot.
Sure.
So, missed the first time missing the family for the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, but it was an opportunity, you know.
Yeah, and that's the way.
Then once you're in, you're kind of in the system, you know. So then it came up again in '97.
Oh, cool.
And a couple of the guys couldn't do it, so I fostered Matt Starr and Chad McDonald.
Oh, wow.
And I fostered now deceased Steve Gorenberg was the bass player. He passed away a couple of years ago, unfortunately, young, smoking, drank like a fiend.
All this is all tying together now. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, and I remember
the trailblazer in this thing.
Yeah, and I was like the only original guy on Trial Mile, and I wasn't even like the original drummer really. It was pretty much like Mike and Tony were the guys, and then they put the band together.
What was your favorite place on that first swing? that sticks out?
The first, actually, Italy probably. And the first and last time I ever played golf was in Turkey.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Wow,
Yeah.
Turkish golf. Sounds
Yeah,
like a band.
and I
That's
remember
a band, Turkish golf.
Okay.
That's our band.
Perfect.
The name of your band, Turkish Golf.
It sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yep, and so that was a lot of fun. And '97 was Korea, Japan, Singapore, and Bahrain.
Oh, wow.
And I remember
Wow.
because Matt was singing and playing guitar, so he loves his Kiss and his cheap trick. So there's a lot of that. So I had to learn, a lot of that stuff. But
I don't think I ever realized that you guys went around the world together. That's cool.
We did.
That's cool.
'97.
Wow.
Yeah, and I remember those
That's
guys
cool.
like kind of being like, we did some damage while we were there. I mean,
Chad, I think Crivolone did that too. Where
he
did he?
did. I can't remember if he
was
did.
on not with you guys, obviously.
He did do it.
one
I
of
remember
those,
talking to him about it. And Jeff Brown did one too, because I was trying to pick their brains about what is this thing all about? What do you do?
Yeah.
How is it?
Was it cool?
It was super cool
Yeah.
because it's an opportunity.
Yeah.
When am I going to be in Turkey ever again?
Yeah.
Or South Korea.
Right. You could say.
Which I was up at the DMZ. That was a tour that took us up to the DMZ and got to see into North Korea. Actually, we were in up at the DMZ inside the, I don't know what they call it, like that house where the microphones are hanging. There's a table, and North Korea's here and South Korea's here, and or North Korean guards are like looking in.
Whoa.
I got photos of that. It's pretty crazy. Wow. But we were up there. Actually, Chad and I were the only ones who went. Wow. And you had to sign a waiver.
I would be really
literally.
I would be really nervous being with Chad in a place where there's consequences possible.
Well, when they say
very nervous.
The term "sign your life away," like we basically did that day.
Yeah,
right. A waiver, like, if something happens,
you're on your own.
We're not going to be bussing you out of here. So, but it was a great.
If they take you hostage, they just see you later.
Right. Yeah. And there's a lot of history. They explain the Korean.
And Chad, he behaved.
That day or on the tour in general. He caused a lot of trouble at the end because he refused to pay his hotel bill. And they weren't going to let us leave until the hotel bill was paid. And he was just kind of being a rock star, I think. And we did a lot of damage in Singapore. We were kind of stuck there. Oh, we went to Diego Garcia, too, which is an island 1,000 miles south of India.
Whoa. I never even heard of it.
It's on some maps, not all. And it's strictly like a naval base or something.
Wow.
Yeah, it's called Diego Garcia.
Wow, that's cool.
Yep. And I remember us being...
that's exciting.
It was. All the phosphorus rocks and stuff and stars. And that was
going around the world.
Yeah.
Too bad it was with Chad. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, it was cool with those guys too. Like I said, we did some damage in Singapore. We were kind of locked in for like a week. And actually...
Oh, I remember Matt told me, didn't you guys kill someone? I remember that. He told me in Singapore you killed someone. I'm kidding.
No.
Matt, can you imagine? Oh, that time. Yeah.
But we literally locked ourselves in the room that we were in, and there was a ceiling fan. Oh, no. And we cleared out all the furniture. And it was like those it was like really... plaster walls or not even like concrete walls or whatever. Salamanders all over the place. And we just started chucking stuff into the ceiling fan.
Just to see what would happen.
And then Matt's like, we'll put 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll get some points and we'll start throwing stuff. So, I mean, dude.
Why not?
Beer bottles, cans, rotten fruit, mops, buckets, and whatever everything we can get our hand out. Ended up in the ceiling fan. I got some great shots of Chad with his goggles on and everything. His hair, it was great. Cool. But that was that. And I remember coming back from that tour, and there was another tour after that, which was going into the Middle East.
Oh, boy.
And that's when Saddam Hussein was kind of like getting all his stuff ready. Yeah. And so me and the bass player stayed, and then the guys, wasn't Matt and Chad, it was a whole different version. I think Mike and Tony eventually went. And so that's like we're up to 98 now. Whew.
Yeah.
We got enough time, man.
We're halfway. All
right, so I'll try to get through this.
You be the man.
I'll try to get through this.
Yeah.
So now we're talking 96, right? So what happened after that?
And you went to the Middle East or no?
I did not.
Okay.
I was like, and then that's how I jumped on with the post office, actually. Yeah. Okay. I went and took the test, and I was working at a bank at the time, long hair, goatee, whatever,
The cool teller.
Yeah, actually. They let me keep the long hair. I don't know.
That's cool.
I showed up on time. I did the job.
Hey, man.
Yeah, I guess I was okay.
Yeah. Did that drummer, you can count to at least 4.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So it was perfect. Got count backwards too. It's impressive.
That's funny.
Yep. And so I applied at the post office, and then I remember working at the bank another year, and then got the thing in the mail, and kind of the rest of history there, right? So, okay, this is perfect. All right, so that was like 97 and 98. and I got fired from the bank. I think there was a lot of bank mergers at the time, and I think they were just setting people up just to get rid of them.
their long hair.
Yeah, they said I was short $1,000. Yeah, like I really gave somebody $1,000, like over the counter. Yeah, not quite. Right. They made it look all official. They had the officials come in and look at your
Where is it? It's in there. It's got to be
97. Yeah, it's in there.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, 97.
Yeah.
Yep, and so the post office, and then I was out of work for a while. And I'm like, I'm going to collect like everybody else and whatnot. But I was working these other jobs too at the same time. And then that's when the opportunity for Derrick and the Funbags came up. But I was in a band called Mucka Ferguson for a few years, playing the bars.
Sure.
Steve Gorenberg.
Sure.
And that was a lot of fun, But then the opportunity came because I used to go down to JJ's in Milford and do that Sunday night jam.
I used to do that. I've done
actually.
That too.
Okay, hold on. I got to go back just for a second.
Remember the guy with the didgeridoo that would do 2 songs? Okay, anyway, go ahead.
I don't, but now you just sparked something because
I used
now
to go down there.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you something. That's where I first saw you.
Oh, really?
Sort-of-ish.
Sorry.
And you can help me focus this.
Yeah.
But I remember in 95, I forgot I was playing with the WPLR Breakfast Band with Jordan and TJ.
Okay.
And that we worked a lot. And I remember the chops getting really solid then because I was playing every week, like 3 to 4 times a week.
Yeah.
$50, whatever. I didn't care.
Hey, man.
And JJ's on Sunday nights. And
wow.
I remember going down there, and that's where I first saw Derrick, though I didn't really know him.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing you there. You were just playing on some random tune, open hand, right?
Yeah.
The open hand thing going on.
Yeah.
And so when were you in 8 to the Bar?
Basically the whole 90s.
Right.
With an off. At some point, I left for a year or two.
Yes. So when
I joined in like 89, 90.
Wow. Okay. Right on. So when were the
98?
Okay, so it was before that. So when were the auditions? They were auditioning drummers.
I quit a couple of times. I quit in...
I want to say 95, 96?
Yeah, could be, yep.
That makes sense. Okay, so this is where you come in again. I remembered you from 8 to the Bar because the band was all over the place, which was great. And I remember them talking about the drummer leaving and holding auditions.
Sure.
And I was in the breakfast band at the time, and I'm like... And I remember... that it was pretty laid out. Like they told you how much you were going to make, and it was like a salary job. And I was like, I maybe I can do this, So I remember getting the songs and got through a few of them. And one of them was like, I don't know, it was a little out of my wheelhouse, but I kind of had to work it to get it. Yeah. And I remember going down to the audition that day. I remember it was it was like a saloon.
I was there?
Swinging, absolutely.
I'm sorry. I don't
No, not that you would remember, but I remember that day because drummers were coming in and out every 15 minutes. Like it was like a cattle call. Dude. It was crazy.
No, it was.
I'm like, this is nuts. I remember getting in there, and I remember you were there, and I'm like, damn, the drummer's here.
Oh,
and I knew like how good you were, right? And I'm like,
yeah,
oh my
but
God.
I barely. I mean, that wheelhouse is big. I mean, I got the gig by that much.
No, but I remember it was like some sort of like
a lot of different
jazzy
styles
jump blues song. That was a little out of my thing, and I remember I had to work really hard at it. But I remember like you guys were like recording all the drummers, and I'm like sweating, like it was.
Oh no!
Yeah, and your hair was cool. It's kind of like up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
My hair went
you probably
everywhere.
still grow it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I remember you being there, man. Yeah, I remember all
shit.
that.
And you didn't get the gig?
No, but I want to say, did David Keefe get it right then and there, or was that on?
I don't remember. I don't know. I think when I quit the band, I think Leave You got the gig. Leave You Pop, I think.
Okay.
And then Mark Greenberg was in there too. You remember him? But anyway.
Yeah,
those guys, and David Keith did come along, but I don't think I ever saw him audition. I think that was later.
Okay, right on.
But
okay.
Anyway.
So that's kind of like my first interaction with you. I remember you guys playing in New Haven out on a festival.
Sure.
And did you sing a James Brown song?
Yeah.
Sex Machine?
Sure. Oh.
Yes?
Hey.
No, I want you got to make sure my memory's okay.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Okay. And it was badass, dude.
Oh, hey man.
I'm just saying though, I'm like, this guy's good.
Well, whatever. That's funny.
So that was like the 90s, whatever. And then and I don't know where you ended up like after that, but
well, me neither. I'm trying to remember. Can't remember.
That's why you got to scrapbook and you got to write stuff down.
You're right.
Yeah, so I remember. Yeah, so the tour I covered, and let's see. Oh my God, yeah.
So the Funbags, all of a sudden.
Yeah, so that's.
So they were already making noise.
They were making noise down in the valley.
Yeah.
And I was like the Meriden Hartford guy playing in Mucka Ferguson, which actually in the scrapbook, we got #1 party band in '98.
Sure.
But
yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Well,
we did, I guess, based on a Hartford Advocate, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it was cool at the time. You know,
who else was in that?
It was Christopher Tino.
Oh yeah, Tino.
You know,
That's
Tino?
what I thought I was going to say.
And Steve Gorenberg had played bass, but there's some other. Tom was playing bass for a while earlier days.
Sure.
Yep, and but I remember those guys seeing me at like JJ's or something, because that was kind of down their way playing, and I think they saw me at Hellwig's actually.
I don't remember.
It's Anthony D's now.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, and I was playing like probably War Pigs or something, and I remember them both being in the back and arms are crossed. You know,
oh boy!
And they just come up to me afterwards, and they basically kind of said, "Hey, we got this band, whatever," and I didn't think anything of it. So I remember going down to see them a couple times play, and it was like, "What is going on?" Like, bars were full, the band was great. Of course, chicks everywhere. Yeah, you know, and I'm like, "What? Who are these guys?"
Yeah, this
I
got to get
heard of them.
With this. Yeah.
You know, and every time I went to go see him play, the place was packed. Shenanigans, Wings. Remember Wings? Stratford? Capuano's Landing? Yeah. It was all around that time. Wow. And they were like the band. And then they were packing Toad's place.
Yeah.
You know?
So they were already doing all that before you got involved. That's killer.
Yeah, they just...
So you're like, I'm in.
And my buddy's like, what are you going to do? And I'm like...
So who was the mastermind behind it all? Derrick?
That was Chris Michaels and Derrick Pearson, pretty much.
You
know, they started a band called Free Beer.
Okay.
Used to be advertisers, and they were playing Maiden and stuff like that. And then they were like, I think we really need to kind of pivot and do things that are going to be appeal to the masses a little bit more. Sure. That's the story I got, And then I auditioned, and I think what kind of maybe put him over the edge was I remember Blister in the Sun.
Sure.
The song everybody's sick of. And I remember I took the snare drum out, and I just played it on its own. Didn't even go behind the kit. And then I was like kneeling down playing it. And I was dancing around it and playing it. And they're like,
this is going to be great.
They're like, that's our guy.
Yeah.
That's basically how it went down.
Great.
And here we are, 25 years later, basically. But I mean, there's a lot in between. But because during that time too, I was always interested in being in an original band.
Sure.
And the one that got the most traction was a band called Live and Trust.
Okay.
And they were kind of out of the Milford area.
Yep.
Kind of started. I joined up with them in 2004.
Okay.
Got a tape, auditioned, did all that stuff. And then I was in the band from 2004 to 2008. And we were getting a lot of traction, actually. To where like we had like a label, and we had the guys doing the MySpace thing for us, and we had an engineer, and we had the lawyer, and it was all kind of like really lining up, and we had the songs.
Oh boy!
And then we recorded them, and it came out on a CD, and everybody was like, wow, this is a local.
This is going to be our thing.
This is crazy. And I remember CCC jumped on early on and really supported the band. They actually gave us the opening slot for the Audio Slave gig back in 2005. It was like CCC's 30th anniversary gig or something like that. And they put us on doing a 20-minute set, and it was Audio Slave. It was 30 Seconds to Mars. And Hinder. And
oh wow!
They had that hit, that slow ballad that they're doing at the time.
Yep. And
that was pretty cool. But the singer pretty much blew it. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I got a CD with some good songs on it, but yeah. And in between there, I remember like submitting a picture to Spin magazine because they do this like celebrity look-alike thing.
Oh
and,
no!
And
who do you look like? Let me imagine. Trying to imagine.
Probably not now, but gray and I'm wearing glasses now and whatnot. But of course, it's in the scrapbook. That's on my phone too.
Brad Pitt.
I don't know about that. But I used to get a lot of Sully Erna references.
Oh, okay, sure.
I'll show you the picture, and then you'd be like, "Whoa!"
Sure. Right,
so
right.
Yeah, that was kind of fun for a while. And then I was hanging around Bleachers in Bristol, and people were like, what's Sully doing here? Like, I know he lives in Boston. What is he doing hanging around in Bleachers?
Yeah,
and people would double take, and they would ask me, and
yeah, man,
that was interesting for a while. But
cool. What did you have to change something? You were like, I'm going to start wearing glasses. They're like, why Sully wearing glasses? It's like, no.
Yeah, no.
Sully's got a beard now.
Damn. Crazy, yeah, pretty nuts. But yeah, so that was interesting.
Facelift. Sully got a facelift.
Hey, shaved. I don't know. Yeah. He got all crazy. But that was fun. That was interesting. But I guess I don't know. I mean, the Funbags now, right? So 25 years. I mean,
you got 15 minutes.
Right on. So yeah, I mean, I can jump around, but I don't know some interesting things.
Hey, man.
I didn't like Funbags were on VH1, which was cool, and we got our name on the wall of fame downstairs.
Yeah.
I think it's under the sewer pipe. I think it's.
That's fine. Hey, whatever.
Yeah, it's just Funbag. I think we're next to Boz Skaggs or something. But
That's cool. I'll
take it.
Why not?
You know?
Why not?
And I did have an opportunity, October of 2007. I remember this actually, kind of interesting and fun. That was the year that Genesis went back on tour.
Okay.
And Genesis was coming, so I got to see Phil Collins, who's one of my guys.
Sure.
So I got to see him in September.
Yep.
Mitch Mitchell was still alive. He was doing the Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Whoa.
So I got to see him in October. I remember Rush coming in like November, so I got to see Neil, who was my boy, you know. And then Zeppelin was coming to the O2 Arena in November, with Jason Bonham.
Yeah. And
that show got moved to December. So I just went online like the other 70 million people, and I just put in my name, and then I got an email the next day saying that you've been chosen.
You went to that show?
I did.
Whoa,
and it was pretty crazy, but this is the shirt.
No way.
Yeah, this is the shirt. And I ended up.
Oh, man.
I ended up.
Wow. That's historic.
It is. And it's really something because in that 4-month period, I got to see like all my drummer gods, basically, except for John Bonham, but I got to see Zeppelin. Yeah. And so it's a shirt. And then I got Jim Koplik one, and I got Mike Caroli one, because they signed me up as their official WCCC Zeppelin reporter. So I reported from the O2 Arena.
Oh, that's great.
It was a lot of fun.
So
they gave me a phone, and I would check in with Mike, and
You're doing Black Dog right now.
Yeah. Like, what's it like? Standing around getting tickets. It was pretty cool. And that was a lot of fun. I wrote an article in the Record Journal about the show.
Oh, wow.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's one of those cool little.
That's great.
Things.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, if I ever was to play the lottery, that was my ticket right there.
Yeah.
That was
Oh, that's really cool.
And I took my buddy Scott White, who was in the Funbags at the time, with me. So we both went there. We only went for like 3 days. We just went there. We saw the Churchill War Museum, and we saw Zeppelin, and then we came home.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's wild. Wow, that's exciting.
It was
that must
actually
have been insane.
Yep. Yeah. And around that same time, my buddy, his girlfriend Sue, was the manager for Pat Monahan.
Okay.
And he was looking for a drummer. So my buddy calls me up, and he's like, do you have drum cases?
What?
Like, yeah. And so he proceeds to tell me that Pat Monahan put out a solo album. He's looking for a drummer. I'm like, dude, like, sign me up for that.
Yeah.
So I went down to meet him and his band down in New York. And he had a drummer at the time, and they said he wasn't working out. And I never got the call, but I learned that album like note for note, like top to bottom, and never got the call. But I was ready. It would have been like an 8-week bus tour or something like that.
Yeah. Why not?
But you get opportunities like that here and there. But, but right now, fun bagging it. Yeah, and I played in the Flames for a little while too.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, once Crivellon wasn't in, I was with Alex and Matt and Chad, and did a few gigs under our belt. And then Alex went. And Matt went. And Chad went.
Yeah, everybody went. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I'm just jumping around. This is it's weird talking about yourself, but
why not? Like I said, we set the record straight. Now it exists.
Yeah, but this is a nice setup, man. Like, I appreciate you.
Yeah, of course.
Like, thinking of me. And
why not?
Inviting me in.
Why not? I mean, Funbags, you guys have been around for a long time. Showed a lot of people a good time for a lot of years. That's cool.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I contacted you before, and then kind of, okay. And then I just saw something on Facebook. You guys played down in Middletown.
A mezzo, yeah.
Yeah, and the tempos were so locked in. I was like,
I appreciate that.
Well, I mean, whatever. You don't need my approval, but I just was like, oh, that's right, Matt. And that's how it happened. So yeah, it sounded good.
No, I appreciate it.
It sounded really good.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it was cool.
Thank you, man. Yeah. You're always welcome, man. Come up and do a song or two. I don't know.
But yeah. What else you got? I don't want you to.
No, well, I just brought this because this is the first album I ever owned.
Yeah, sure.
I don't even know how I even got it.
Yeah.
No, I asked my mom. She bought it for me, or somebody gave it to me, if I stole it from somebody. But this would have been probably 5th grade, 78.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's all scratched.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad shape. But this is the first album I ever owned.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I don't have a record player though.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just brought a bunch of weird stuff in there.
Why not? Because you never know.
Yeah. It's still sitting there too. Look at
yeah.
Stack is still sitting there.
Yeah. You got to come. You have to come back because the time flew.
No, I appreciate that. I don't even know what the hell I was even talking about
right.
half the time.
No, we got it. I mean, like I
guess
say,
so.
I'm just trying to, chronicle the thing. So what's next for the Funbags? You guys just hitting and run, just hit and run.
Believe it or
wherever.
not, we are. It's still a pretty steady schedule. A lot of weddings.
Oh, that's cool.
And doing like the higher gigs, from casinos, and the festival type things, and the earlier hours
comes in handy. Yeah.
Which I think
Old
COVID really kind of forced
reset.
its way. And a lot of people, our crowd's getting older too. But
Right.
but like 8:30 to 10:30, yeah, everybody likes to slam me up for that. You're
That's
home by
cool.
midnight.
Yeah.
Usually you're starting the third set
Yep.
at midnight or something.
No, I hear you. I think it seems natural. Like
So
how
better
it
hour
kinda
gigs,
goes.
some of the money's there, for some of the stuff. A little more time off, and it's in balance. And we're gonna keep doing what we do until we can't do it no more.
Yeah, I hear you. That's cool.
Yeah, I kind of want to interview you, but
Go ahead. I've been the guest one time. Somebody didn't show up. And
did we?
Dave interviewed me. Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, it was the worst. It got -7 views or whatever.
Oh, wow, that's pretty. It would have been cool if you were on both sides, like it just maybe wearing a different shirt.
I
or
don't have
something.
ideas like you. See, you always have
No,
better ideas.
Not all the time. But
I gotta ask a couple of the kind of
sure.
wrap up questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wish we'll do this again. We'll have more time.
No worries.
Are you a consistent practicer of your instrument? You don't have to be. I'm just curious.
I guess it's. I feel guilty.
Yeah.
About it because life gets in the way. You know?
Of
and
course.
You're doing the band stuff and you feel like a secretary with the band, and then you got your day job, and then I'm out there cutting the grass, and I'm a lawn Nazi too, so I got to be out there pulling the weeds with my hand. Oh yeah. You kids get off my lawn.
Wow.
I'm going to be that guy.
Wow, cool.
But, you feel bad. But there's things I want to study more, like Latin. I've been doing a lot of that on my own over the years. And I picked up one of the little doombacks and doing all that like belly dance type stuff.
Yeah.
When I can, but I feel guilty about it. So I guess the short answer is no.
Yeah,
I want to. Well, I'm
people
hoping to
do.
retire in 5 years, and then I can get back to practicing. But that's no excuse, though.
Hey, man. That's cool.
Well, I do practice, for the Funbag stuff. That counts.
Yeah.
And I also, by default, had to pick up like a Roland SPD, a drum pad thing. So I really dove into that and learning the pads and how to sequence the things and the mute groups and all that.
Yep.
Like I probably land a plane with that thing, but I've been called a couple of times to help some guys out, and I love it. So that's something new too. I never thought I'd do electronics. There's more stuff to go wrong.
Why not?
And it has.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Especially when you hit the wrong pad.
Yeah. And then
Crazy.
all of a sudden,
Stuff's blowing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So.
Yeah. Desert Island albums, a few albums that you would take with you onto a desert island and listen to only those.
Ooh. Well, you can see by my shirt, I am a pretty
King's
big
X.
King's X fan.
Sure.
So, I mean,
Yep.
any of the earlier albums, of course.
Yep.
I mean, I'm old school. I'm the Zeppelin Rush guy, kind of.
Sure.
So, 2112 was the first Rush album I had. Really, that's what kind of turned me on the Rush. So that would be on there.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a Genesis album would be on there.
Which one? Just out of curiosity. My wife is Genesis deep.
Ooh. See, I like all different songs. So
Yeah.
the Duke album's good, though.
Sure.
So, and there's probably a couple I'm just totally like forgetting,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm kind of old school like that. But
All right. Yeah, that's cool.
yeah,
What else?
more albums or
Yeah.
Ooh. I'm trying to do the Rolodex of like cassette tapes that I have at the house, or the CDs that are in there. Wow, man, I don't know. On the
That's
spot,
all
there's
right.
just so many different.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I do like all different genres of music.
Sure,
Depending on the mood you're in.
Yeah.
Jazz to stuff like King's X to Rush to
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Actually, at work I've been listening to just like 70s soul music.
Yeah.
Change it up, and then I'll throw
sure.
on like 80s synth pop stuff
Yep.
another day, and it takes you back, a little bit. 60s one hit wonders.
Sure.
Just throw it on at work and just listen to it.
Yep.
So
Killer.
yeah. So
Killer.
yeah.
Desert island food. What could you eat every day without fail? If you had to pick one thing only.
Would sushi be one thing?
Sure.
Okay, so it'd be sushi probably.
Yeah, nice. A lot of
probably.
people say that.
Yeah, I don't mind the texture.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I can eat that all day.
What was the most mind-blowing live show that you've ever seen that you can remember that comes to mind? I got to be Zeppelin at freaking.
That probably was. I mean, you answered it for me, but that would be. I mean, sort of
before that, because because anybody that saw that, it's a stupid question at this point. But exclude that one.
I guess maybe that wouldn't be one show. Maybe it was that time in 2007 where I got to see like Phil and I got to see Neil and just all that within 4 months. Seeing all that, like I could have died on December 27th and I would have been fine.
Yeah, sure.
Because I just saw all my guys. Like,
yeah, right. Right.
So, that sort of thing. But it definitely was cool, like, seeing Rush like for the first couple times. And stuff like that.
I never saw him. I never saw him.
Right on.
Not once. I wish I did.
Yep.
But I'm hardcore. Like, I didn't even like I end at Hemispheres. I didn't even like Permanent Waves. I was out.
Yeah, no, I'm that earlier guy as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep,
so
for
funny.
sure.
But
what do you think about Primus doing Farewell to Kings?
I did see it.
Did you really?
I absolutely saw it.
Was it good?
It was, and Les even said, don't expect me to be hitting Geddy Lee notes. Like he even said, he just said, we're doing it to have fun. He's like, we love the band. Yeah. And we're going to do it. And it sounded like Les singing Rush. So if you can.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I mean, you can probably YouTube it all or whatnot. But
I'll check it out.
It was a lot of fun to see it. And you go and went in there with an open mind.
Yeah, sure.
It. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's fun.
And I am a closet Steely Dan fan too.
Okay.
Actually, yeah. So
sure.
Steely Dan album, probably the Asia album, probably.
Sure.
But,
yeah. I couldn't disagree.
Yeah. So.
All right. Anything else that you want to talk about for like 3 minutes?
This is horrible. Like just talking about yourself.
No, this is the whole point.
It's just weird,
No, it's good. It's good. It exists now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I guess it does. I guess I think on my paper, I think I covered for the most part. I wanted to stick it in there.
Yeah, right.
This is memorialized. Like this is it. Like this might be playing on my death collage when I die.
Oh boy.
You know how they run the DVD video, and maybe this might end up on there.
There you go.
Yeah.
How about
so
that?
Maybe it might be on there.
Yeah, we provided you with you could just put this on loop.
Yes.
As people file by.
Right.
Wow. Heavy.
So, but I definitely appreciate this opportunity.
No,
it's a cool thing you're doing, dude. Keeping the.
Well, hey, it's Dave too.
And
we're chronicling.
Thank you, Dave.
We're trying to. What's the word? What am I looking for?
Chronicalize.
Chronicalize.
Is that a word?
Yeah, it's an album by Compliance or whatever.
Oh, is it?
Defiance.
What's it?
Chronicalized or something or whatever.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, but thanks for coming. I appreciate it. This is really cool.
No, again, thanks for thinking of me.
You got us out of the box with the entrance, and you brought stuff, and this is cool.
I did. I think we just got through only one scrapbook too. That's weird.
All right. Well, you know what?
It's okay.
Not that you would know, but I guess in my mind the little rule was, I got through 1 year of doing this without missing a week, and different unique guests. And now that I've gone past the 1 year, I can I can bring people back. So you'll be back.
No, I appreciate it, and it's exciting because now I can kind of dial this up and check out all the guests you had in there.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Learn about people.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I learned something today. I did not realize that you trashed a room in Singapore with Chad. It all makes sense.
We did. I have photos to prove it, which is crazy.
I bet.
It's crazy.
All right, I'm going to press the button. Don't be afraid. There's going to be loud music. Are you ready?
I am.
All right, Matt Chirsky, Derrick and the Funbags, and been around the world, trashing hotel rooms in exotic places. Saw Led Zeppelin. What do you think about that, kids? Yeah, not too many people that happens here on the John Peckman podcast. Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance, beautiful downtown Portland, Connecticut. Come over the bridge, go through one set of lights, look left. Thank you, Matt Chirsky. I appreciate you showing up.
Thank you, John Peckman.
Awesome. See you later, kids. That is all.
If you'd like to start your own podcast, give us a call at Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance. Our professionally designed podcast space is here for all your recording needs. Rent out our studio to do interviews with up to 4 people, to record audiobooks, social media content, and all other recorded material. Our rentals include a private studio along with our professional-grade podcasting equipment, and we can customize your output to whatever your needs are. We also have green screen capabilities, which will expand to video capability if you so wish. So check us out here at convalley.net/podcast.